Now to the latest on the pandemic. As Omicron cases sweep the country, the U.S. Surgeon General is warning we have not reached the peak yet. That's despite the high number of cases all across the country right now. The next few weeks could be very challenging in many parts of the country, especially those places where vaccination rates are lower. Joining us now, NBC News medical contributor Dr. Kavita Patel. So, Dr. Patel, let's talk about this. Still weeks to go potentially before this latest wave peaks in the U.S. So what can we expect in the next few weeks, and will hospitals be able to withstand this rising surge?
Yeah, Joe, approximately half the hospitals in the country are at or near capacity. So this is not a good sign, as we have much of the country that still needs to get through their Omicron peak. It does follow previous patterns, Joe. So we do see Northeast, for example, impacted earliest, and then some of the coastal cities. But by and large, rural America, the Midwest, parts of the South, and even the Pacific Northwest have yet to see their peaks. And again, that next couple of weeks will be critical, as well as weeks after, where hospitalizations tend to lag 2 to 3 weeks.
Now, there seems to be a little bit of good news. Cities like Chicago, Washington, New York are seeing hospitalizations plateau and a slight drop in the number of daily cases. Of course, these were the cities hit early. They have high vaccination rates. But is there reason for optimism?
There is reason for optimism. And as you mentioned, these cities have had sustained decreases, not just one-day decreases, which is good news. But that is, again, kind of something that we saw earlier, as you say, urban areas, higher vaccinated populations. And it's not just the high vaccination rates. Remember, these are also cities that happen to put in pretty severe kind of mitigation measures, everything from vaccine requirements in Washington, D.C. to enter into businesses, all the way to some indoor capacity restrictions that we saw in Chicago and other areas.
And before we let you go, Dr. Patel, we do have a viewer question this morning. Tim from San Marcos, California writes, with new recommendations to use the more expensive N95 face mask, what steps could people take to allow repeated use of the mask? That's a great question.
Yeah.
So are these one-time use only, or can we reuse them? If so, how do you do that safely?
I love these viewer questions because they're what we're all thinking. So the best way to reuse a mask, and you can use it up to about 4 days if you do this, put it in a paper bag. You really want to prevent those elastic bands from getting overstretched. So don't hang them on a coat rack. I used to do that, and you can see these things getting weighed down. But take them in a paper bag and make sure if there's any dirt or dust off of it, just dust it off. Put it in a paper bag and let it be kind of the storage area. Have a bunch of these paper baggies and rotate them out. Not 4 days in a row, but if you've got 2 or 3 masks, rotate them out. That'll give you at least 4 to 5 days of usage.
Good advice there. Dr. Kavita Patel, thank you so much. She likes these questions. So do we. So if you have one for us and our doctors, let us know. You can ask us about the variant, the vaccines, or like we heard there, the masks. Our doctors are ready to answer those questions. Just email us at morningnewsnow@nbcuni.com with your questions. And also let us know if you want to stay anonymous.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.